Everybody, it's me. Yeah, I really did just upload a video, and this will be the fourth in this series. Um, I wanted to talk about something else, and right now I want to talk about the fact that this country needs a change. Everybody talks about the change that they want to see. They want to see people be kinder. They want to see people be more gentle and loving. They want to see people be more generous. They want to see people be more fair and non-judgmental. Excuse me. Um, in order for that to happen, you have to become the change you want to see. You want to see a more loving society. Well, then you have to become more loving as an individual. That person in your life that you really, really hate and just makes you want to snap and lose it all at the very sight of them. You don't know what kind of day that person's had. You don't know if that person went off to the bathroom when they were by themselves and cried. You don't know if that person didn't sleep last night because they had nightmares. You don't know if that person is dealing with a loss. You have no idea. So even if everything in you tells you to just continue to hate and so forth with that person, find one thing, if only one thing, and capitalize on that for a love factor. They might be a smartass, but at least they're funny. They might be rude, but at least they're not fake. Just anything, and capitalize on that in your brain. It really helps if it's something that makes you smile. You want to see a more fair justice system, then you have to be the one to start a petition to change a law. You have to be the one to join an organization that goes and visits prisoners, or you need to be the person to go visit someone incarcerated in your family or that you know, because believe me, when those people are locked up, they have no hope at all. They're reduced to a number. They're reduced to a tray, to a wool blanket, to matching uniforms. That's what they've been brought down to. Most of them are never remembered the day they step out, no matter what they accomplished while they were there. Maybe they turned their lives over to God. Now, I know a lot of people talk about jailhouse religion, and it is a real thing, but let me tell you why. Because when you're sitting there and you have nothing to think about, and it's quiet in that cell at night, and it's dark, and you're thinking, why did God let this happen? Where did I go wrong? Why doesn't God love me? It's then that you hear that inner small voice that Moses heard at the burning bush. And that is when you hear God's voice the loudest. He will point out your flaws, and he may have been yelling at you for years, but guess what? He finally got your attention. Sometimes those people step out of those jail cells and they make a real change. I've seen it happen way too many times. People that I've known all of my life that have been incarcerated for half or three-fourths of theirs, finally, fifth or sixth time in or out, whatever, they come out different people. They come out with a different spirit. Those are the people that make the change, because those are the people that feel the most. They know what it's like to be alone, scared, wonder what's wrong with their families, wonder what's wrong with them. Those are the people that can implement the greatest changes. But see, it's not just those people. It's any one of us. Any of us Americans, we have that power. You know, sometimes you just have to sit down and breathe and think, okay, so this is happening, and this is happening. And you have to look at all of the possible outcomes, the good and the bad. Then you have to evaluate how to avoid bad. But then you have to figure out how to capitalize on the good. And that's where you start. You have to be the one to help that rescue animal in the shelter that's close to being put to death because there's just no room in the shelter. You need to be the one to give to the orphanage because those kids are without families. You need to be the one to walk by an NA meeting and look at those and say, hey guys, you know what? I respect your courage. Keep on, one day at a time. You have to be the one that smiles at the stranger walking down the street. If you see that girl sitting off in the bathroom by herself in school, children, and maybe she's not the prettiest, maybe she doesn't wear the best clothes, maybe she's kind of quiet, maybe she's not so clean, think about it and ask yourselves if it's really her fault. Maybe she comes from a home where there's only one parent that has to work 60 or 70 hours a week. Maybe she doesn't have the money to buy designer clothes. Maybe their water got cut off. Maybe they don't have the money to go to the dollar store and buy body wash. Instead of threatening and intimidating and bullying these people and labeling them, everybody needs to step up and help them. You have to become the change that you want to see. And for those of us that have lost everything and come out and go, oh, what the hell do I do now? Well, you know what? You've got to start somewhere. Start within yourself. Look in the mirror and say, okay, what don't I like about myself? What do other people see? And get real honest, because it's just you and you. It's just you and the man in the mirror, right? Nobody around, nobody to judge you. We're all our own worst critics, but see, the problem is we choose not to listen to what we know is really going on, because that would just be way too painful sometimes. So you have to make a choice. What is it you're going to change? Are you going to change your attitude today? Instead of acting out in contempt or rage, are you going to step back and be like, okay, you know what? It's a bad situation, and right now I don't know how to handle that. So I'm going to go over here to the next room, and I'm going to think about it for a second. Give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back with you. And when you step out of that room, really think. The first question that should come to your mind is, why is this person acting like this? Now, I admit in some cases there are some people that are just assholes. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and pardon my language for any children that may be watching this or easily offended adults. There are some people out there that are just assholes. And you know what? You can't change those people. What you can change is how you perceive them, how you react to them, and you can choose whether to coexist with them or not. That's all you can do. In choosing to act versus react, in choosing to go to a different room or to a different area versus turning around and screaming and yelling back or whatever back, you have chosen to act instead of react. In choosing to not coexist with them because, well, you know, maybe they just have some things they need to work out in their heads and you just don't know how to handle that. Maybe it's just something they're going to have to do on their own. You've just chosen to act versus react. Those are choices you have. Those are choices we have to make. Find those causes that drive you. Help them. Volunteer. Sign a petition. Organize a rally. Hell, show up at a rally. Write a letter to a congressman. Write a letter to a church. Donate clothes. Donate food. And don't do it because it's a tax exemption. You know what? When you get those receipts, throw them the hell away. Because that's just another form of corruption. However, when you become those chains, what you're doing is you're putting good out. And the laws of the universe say, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. For every good you put out there, good will come back. But for every bad you put out there, bad will come back. We have got to change our thinking, people. We have got to move forward in a more positive manner. We have got to awaken. You are human beings. You are spirits. You are not robots. You are not computerized brainiacs. You are humans. You're spirits. We all are. And we all have a cause. And we all have a reason. God said, my greatest commandment is to love as I have loved you. And that's what we have to do, people, because if we don't, then the change will never come. And like I said, you have to become the change you want to be or that you want to see. So think about it. What change is it that you want to see? And then make a list of things that you can do to implement that change. And then if you only take one of those and you do one thing, you've just started to become the change you want to see. Alright? Keep that in mind, guys. Have a great afternoon. This is my last one for the day, I think. Probably. Maybe. We'll see. Love you all. Have a great afternoon. Peace out. God bless. Like, subscribe.